the point is you should always be tracking this stuff, always figure it out. But look over it, quarterly and 6 months and every 12 months and just see how everything's coming together and what you can do to improve it. If you don't track it, you're never going to be able to improve it. You're never going to know if you're doing well or if it can be better. Hey guys, hope you guys are all doing well. Just thought I'd give you kind of a quick update of what's going on in our backyard, which I know has nothing to do with social media, but it's still kind of fun. And I know a lot of you guys love construction and real estate and all that stuff. So thought I'd give you a quick kind of tour of the backyard and what's going on. So 3.5 weeks ago or so, we got our permit approved from the city, and took a little bit to get everybody ramped up and going. But we started demo about a week ago, right after Thanksgiving, like the Saturday after. And then the rains came. And so this is where we are right now. So this is the backyard. We are now a lakefront resort, which is awesome. As you can tell, there is a massive body of water in our backyard from where they took out a patio, and it's just been raining like crazy. I think we had more rain in the month of November than Seattle got. So crazy rain here. We had like 3 inches in a couple days. So it's a muddy mess right now. As you can see, like all the stucco has been ripped off the side over here. They're going to be adding on to this room there, and they're going to be adding on way over there. So I was hoping today that the foundation guys would all be here. They're supposed to be doing all the roughing for the electrical and plumbing. We're going to be trenching and digging and just running stuff everywhere. So anyway, it's kind of a mess, but it's kind of fun to see too. I've got 3 little girls, and they're usually pressed up against that glass room right over there, and just love watching all the tractors drive by and the guys working and stuff. And anyway, it's supposed to be fun. So the rain finally cleared. As you can see, it's kind of sunny and clearing out, and so I'm hoping by tomorrow the guys are gonna be able to come by and start grading it and being able to mark out of the line so they can start trenching it and get things moving. So anyway, I'm hoping that we can start getting the walls up probably the first part of the year, maybe like January 5th or 10th or somewhere around there, and make some big progress from there. So I met with the power company today, SDG&E, San Diego Gas and Electric, and we have to move our gas meter and our electric meter and upgrade our electric meter and upgrade our gas meter. And like I've done that once before on another job, but it wasn't that bad. And this is like the most challenging project this guy's ever dealt with. It sounds like it's just a mess over here. So anyway, a lot of fun. I'm excited. I know some of you guys are following along and seeing what we're doing, but I've been going through all of our contractors, right? So each of them they submitted their bids to us. And like we got the plumbing bid for all the roughing, we've got the foundation guy and all his numbers. And these guys know their numbers so well. The concrete guy's like, yep, I'm $14 a foot, and that includes everything. Like, when do you want us to start, right? And they just kind of did the multiplication of how many square feet we're adding and all that. Plumber guy had to kind of go through some different things. Electrician, kind of unique because we're adding like 125 different lights to the house. I think we have like 3 in there right now. But anyway, it's kind of fun going through all the numbers and just seeing where we are and making sure it adds up to our budget. And we're definitely adding some massive value to this house. We're more than doubling the square footage of it. And anyway, it's gonna be an awesome house when it's done. But what caused me to think about this is, obviously I'm a big numbers guy, a huge analytics, like I love running the numbers and all that kind of stuff, which hopefully you guys do too. And as I was going through all their numbers and matching it up with our bids and making sure that, we're good and within budget and can stay under budget, hopefully. Obviously there's a lot of stuff that's still kind of unknown at this point that we're getting into, but I was thinking about profitability, right? And it's kind of different because we're spending money on something that's not going to be like an income property or a flip or anything like that. But in the days when I was flipping houses like this, you'd obviously try to keep your numbers as low as you can so that you could profit as much as you can. Our goal is always to increase revenue, right, and decrease costs. And so when you're running a real estate business, you have overhead like employees and marketing, and if you have a brokerage split, and your license and insurance and gas and all that kind of stuff that it takes to run your real estate business. I think a lot of us get to the end of the year and we have to pay taxes, and we're like, oh, I didn't know how much we actually made. And you have that like, oh crap moment where you're like, all right, well now I got to pay taxes. A lot of you do. Some of you do a really good job of taking for every dollar you make, you divert some of that money into a tax account and save it, which is great. So when your quarterly taxes are due, you're good to go. But I think for most of you guys, it's a big sticker shock if you haven't sold a lot of houses before. And as you make more money, you obviously got to pay more money if you're one of the income tax states. I was talking to somebody yesterday about property taxes in Texas, and it's insane how much you guys pay down there. But it's just interesting to think about like your profitability, right? And when we were running our real estate team, we're always focused on how to decrease costs. So at the end of the day, after we got all our commission, our take home as owners of the business was usually around 12 to 15% on average, meaning that, we had hourly people on our team, TCs and stagers and contractors, drone operators, all that kind of stuff. Like they just got paid by the hour. Other people on our team were, agents who were paid a commission. So if they sold a house or helped someone buy a house, they, got paid a percentage of that commission. And then obviously we had, office expenses and like I said, everything else, gas and insurance and just everything that comes along with those costs. So there was like kind of like a bell curve. Like we got to this one point where we were the most profitable that we could be. But then as we started doing more houses, we needed more overhead. We needed more office space for more agents to be around. So that cost increased, right? So to get, let's just say our agents usually shared like 2 or 3 agents to an office. But to add on, a whole nother office space maybe cost us $1,000 more a month. And you didn't scale, like by bringing on 3 more agents, you didn't automatically triple your business or whatever that number turns out to be. And so there was kind of an overhead like lag for a moment until you could kind of recoup those costs. And so it's interesting. We got to the point where we're selling about 230, 40 homes per year. But there's this like sweet spot for a while, right around 150 to 170 homes. And obviously it kind of depends on the property that you sell, because some houses, might be a $30,000 commission check and some might be a $6,000 commission check. But overall, we got to this point where we're right around 150, 70 homes per year. We were the most profitable. And as we got to 200 homes and 210 homes, we actually started making less money per transaction when it averaged all out. And so you may have a goal of selling 100 homes this year or 50 homes this year or whatever your goal is, or maybe 1,000 homes this year. But you actually might make more money selling less homes. And it's just such an interesting thing. And I don't think you realize it until you actually go back through and look at the numbers. So I definitely encourage you, as the end of the year wraps up here, to go track all your stuff, right? You definitely should be knowing your numbers. You should be knowing how much commission you take. Do you always get 3% or are you giving it away for 1.5 or 2? Do you go through all your numbers and make sure that it's all adding up, right? Like, what did you spend on staging if you had to do that? What did you spend on marketing this year? Did you get an ROI on your marketing? That's a big question right there. Are you actually getting a positive ROI on the money that you're spending out there? If you go through your lead business, how many leads did you buy this year and how many of them did you close? And if you're buying leads from multiple businesses, like let's say you're a subscription to Zillow, right? And you're getting Zillow leads and you got realtor.com leads and maybe you're running Facebook ads. Are you auditing each of those things? Or are you just saying, look, we spent $10,000 on marketing and, we made $200,000. So it's a win-win. Or can you look at maybe Zillow and say, look, we sold one house from Zillow and it cost us $8,000 and we sold 2 houses from Facebook and it only cost us $2,000, right? So you can know where your money goes. And I know a lot of you guys aren't analytical like that, and that's okay. There are people out there called accountants and CPAs and financial planners. Not really in this aspect, but there's people that can help you review your numbers and help you know where you are. Just keep track of it and then find one of these people to help you go through the numbers, go through your budgets, and get as detailed as you possibly can. If you just have a line item that says marketing, you're doing it wrong. You need to, got bugs all over here. You need to break it out. You need to break out, all your subscription stuff. You need to break out your print marketing, your business card marketing, your door-to-door marketing, look, I had to drive, for an hour to go knock doors, whatever it is, right? Like all that stuff needs to be trackable so that you can know where you put your money and how the ROI is working for you. My goal for you guys would always be to increase your profits, reduce your overhead, reduce your expenses, try to be as profitable as you can. For us, being at 12 to 15%, our goal is to get to 20. So we're always going through the numbers, trying to fix things, trying to figure out how to get back to 20 and 25 and so forth. For our business right now, it's the same thing. Sometimes we're at a negative because we have such high overhead and we don't bring in as much profit some months as others, So it's, for me, it's a lot more up and down right now because we have some months where we do really well and some months where, maybe people don't buy as much stuff from us, and that's okay. But the point is you should always be tracking this stuff, always figure it out. And maybe month over month is kind of a hard case scenario from you because you don't have enough volume going on, but look over it, quarterly and 6 months and every 12 months and just see how everything's coming together and what you can do to improve it. If you don't track it, you're never going to be able to improve it. You're never going to know if you're doing well or if it could be better. So figure those things out, go through your numbers, see what costs you can cut, see how you can negotiate better prices. Maybe you need to decide, look, I'm charging 3.5% this year, and this is what I need to do to make it work for me. Maybe you can work out a better split with your broker or go somewhere that's more affordable. Maybe you drop Zillow because it's not bringing in the results that you need. Whatever it is, right? Just audit your numbers, know that you can track these things and get better at it. And that's my message for you today. So, all right. Other than that, we are packing up the car. We're leaving our swampy mess here and we're heading to Disneyland today, which I'm super excited about. I love Disneyland. It was my daughter's 5th birthday yesterday, so we're going to go up there for a couple days and have a lot of fun. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well. I'll report from Disneyland if it's not raining. Have a lot of fun. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye.